All right, we welcome our pole sitter for tomorrow's drive for COPD 300 in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, Trevor Bayne, driver of the number 6 Cargill Ford. This is his 6th NASCAR Nationwide Series pole and first here at Daytona. Trevor, talk about your run out there.
Well, I'm starting to like this stage up here pretty good. Normally it means something good happens. So I'm excited about our pole run. You know, this whole team, I've been talking them up all off season, but that's because they deserve it. I mean, this group of guys, they've won 2 championships in a row, and that's for a reason. Ricky Stenhouse did them a ton of justice, and he's done a great job in that car. But I'm excited to be the guy driving it this year, and we've started off with a bang here with a pole. So, you know, it's not a win yet, but it's a good start. So we'll be happy to see that flag flying up on top of the truck here the rest of the season.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Trevor. We'll start up front with Reed, then go to Allen.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire Service. Trevor, you went out relatively early in terms of most of the fast cars. Did the draw make any difference?
Well, it was actually by speeds for Nationwide, I believe. So, you know, in practice, we thought about that. And Mike, being the crew chief that he is, he was already looking ahead and said that it looked like wins were going to pick up later in the day. So when we went out and we did the tandem drafting, I kept pulling out, trying to slow the car down to make sure we didn't go too fast and we could go early in qualifying. And it seemed to work out. You know, later on in qualifying, the winds were picking up, the flags were blowing more. It looked like they started blowing down the backstretch for a minute, which is what we didn't want to see. But as it shifted, you know, they slowed back down. So I think it did matter a little bit. Obviously, at Daytona, the wind always plays a factor, but our car was still really good in practice. I think we ran a couple tenths slower, actually, in qualifying than we did in practice, but it was pretty strong.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Alan.
Alan Cavan, NASCAR.com. Is it, or was it at all, now that you have a poll, maybe you'll answer differently, was it at all a daunting task, though, to join such a successful team, knowing you're the difference now and they won championships and now you're the driver and has to kind of keep up that standard?
You know, it was a high expectation, I think, going into it, but it was never pressure because, like I said, when I went in the shop and I saw how they work together and the kind of team that they are, you can see why they're champions. And it's not because they just got lucky and won a few races or, you know, they figured out how to win on fuel strategy every now and then. They are a solid race team, the best in Nationwide, and that's why they've won championships. And you know, I was a little bit worried about it going into the shop for the first time that they were going to expect me to be just like Ricky and do the same things, say the same things, drive exactly the same. But after the first day with Mike Kelly, he sent me a text and he said, "Hey man, this team has been together for 6 years. We won races with David Reagan, Carl Edwards, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and we're going to win races with you. And we're happy to have you as a part of our team." So that one text was enough to take that pressure off and to say, all right, I'm part of this team and we're going to do it together.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Al over here to our left.
What's happening, Al? How are you doing? I'm doing good.
Trevor, Al, Pierce Motor Week. Is there anything to the truth that once you've conquered a racetrack, sort of like you did 2 years ago, that you feel a little bit of an advantage just because you know what it's like to win here? Does that play a role at all?
I think so. I mean, anytime you can get experience in victory lane at a racetrack, it brings your confidence up when you go back. And, you know, in the duels earlier this week, or actually yesterday, when we were leading those laps, you know, I was thinking about winning again and how that feels here and what it's like to be out front. And I wish we could have run a little bit better yesterday, but we'll have that opportunity tomorrow in the Nationwide Series. And you know, it's crazy because every time I come to Daytona, it seems like I get the best car of our fleet, the best engine, whether that has something to do with our win or whether that's just kind of the luck of the draw and the guys that I have around me. But last year we were on the outside pole here with the 60 team, which was a part-time team with Chad Norris. They had another good qualifying effort today, I think fourth or fifth. So that team knew how to put it together. The Wood brothers always bring me fast cars. And now with this 6 team, getting the first pole for them at Daytona, you know, for some reason, I just always get the best stuff here, it seems like, and I'm happy to take that on.
Any other questions for Trevor? Okay, we'll take Bob in the back, then come back up to Reed.
Bob Parker, Sporting News. You've already kind of touched on it, but do you feel that winning the pole established yourself if there were any doubts on your crew's mind about whether you could do the job? And then also, are you guys, did they take away some of your horsepower or something? Because you're a little bit slower than a year ago, as far as I know.
That's what somebody asked me about a minute ago, and I don't know that they did that or whether it's temperature or what, but from talking to Mike before qualifying, the cars are exactly the same. So maybe they did make a small restrictor plate difference or a gear change or something real small that I didn't know about. But that pole, you know, it is Daytona, so it's not a big step. If we were at Phoenix and we set the pole, it might be a little bit different, but it just gives me more confidence in the team. And the way Mike Kelly was high-fiving me and all the guys were pumped up, I think it's a good start, and it does give them some confidence in me and in our group of guys again. So I'm so thankful that God surrounded me with this kind of a group of guys, and I can't thank him enough for the race car they brought here.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Reed.
Reed Spencer, NASCAR Wire Service. On the Cup side, how was the backup? I think you ran only 4 laps today in practice. Are you going to practice tomorrow, or is it put up for now?
Yeah, we'll run some practice tomorrow just to get the splitter heights right. Earlier today, we just wanted to shake it down, make sure there were no leaks or anything completely wrong with it. But it seemed to be fast. It's hard to tell by yourself. But they said it's a brand new car that's never been on the track, and it went out and it picked right up. So I think we'll be fine.
Okay, our next question right here in the middle from Mike.
Yeah, Mike Brudenell from the Detroit Free Press. Trevor, you can win a Daytona 500. You can take a pole in a nationwide race here. You're a charming guy. Why don't you get a full-time ride in Cup? I mean,
That's an opinion there on the last one, so I don't know.
you seem to be. I mean, why aren't you running full-time in Cup?
I would love to be, and I think it's just timing. You know, I think Ricky being in the Nationwide Series, running and winning 2 championships in a row, obviously put him up in the batting lineup to go to the Cup Series in the 17 car. I would love to be the next one to take that step. I think we've proven ourselves once, and hopefully I can do it again here in the Nationwide Series. And I think that's what Jack wants to see, and he's given me that opportunity now with the best group of guys. He didn't take one single guy off that team because he wants to give me what Ricky had those last 2 years and let me have that shot to go run for a championship. And I think that's what he's waiting on, is just for me to get a little bit of full-time experience, and then hopefully we can take off next season in Cup. He hasn't said that exactly yet, but I think behind the scenes that's kind of all of our plans. I would love to be running Cup again next year full time. Would have loved to have started 2 years ago running Cup full time, but I'll just take the opportunity I have and try to make the best of it right now.
Final questions for Trevor.
What's that? Draft tomorrow. You'll have to go talk to Donnie Wingo about that one. He's probably got me parked for a little while, but if we can get 2 or 3 cars out there, I might go follow them around and see how it handles. And that's what's crazy about the Cup cars now is the turbulence. And I know everybody's talking about the windows and all that, but I led 30-something laps the other day, and nothing moved inside the car, nothing was shaking, and I got behind one car, Kevin Harvick, and it felt like the whole thing was going to come apart. So we might have to do a little bit of drafting tomorrow just to make sure everything stays in and we don't need to reinforce something.